What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I got to have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me? This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up to all of my friends and family in the building? Yes, it is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025, year of our Lord. The views are incredible. Life is good. And I no longer have to suffer under the tyranny of bad weather. Yep, no longer have to suffer under the tyranny of bad weather. What up, friends? What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What is the word? What is happening? How y'all feeling? Present. Taylor B says, what up, Anton? What up to the Chasers? Good morning, ladies. Tiffany in the building. AJ Wise, legitimately, what up, though? How warm is it where you are? Today it will be, let's see what the weather is going to be like out here in the streets. Today it will be 65 degrees, not crazy. Tomorrow 67, Thursday 72, Friday 74, and so on and so forth. And sunny. A little bit of fog, dense fog advisory, but sunny. So it's going to be cool. And in Detroit, it's going to be a high of 35. And right now it's 25 degrees in Detroit. So I'm not complaining. I heard it's supposed to get up to the 30s and the 40s in the city. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and dealing with snow in this northern Maine, says Juice Junkie. Shout out to Ty Weezy. What's going on, Bag Chaser? Says they call me Mr. Bibbs, and Shell is in the building. Going up to 32 in Philly. No, Anton, where are you today? I am in La Jolla in San Diego. I am in California in San Diego. I'm looking at the views out there. It's really foggy up here, though. Here, I'll show you. See that? It's really foggy. So, that is what I'm looking at. I like the natural light. I don't want that behind me. I want it in front of me because I like to look at it, and the natural light is usually better for the cameras. So, really foggy here right now, but it's cool. I ain't tripping. Got the pool down there, got the jacuzzi. This is 3 levels. Got the pool, got the jacuzzi, got everything popping off. And we chilling. We chilling. So we in here, we appreciative. God is good. God is the greatest of all time. And I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. So, what's up, friends? My sister is out there right now. What up to your car? I had a long flight, but it was cool. It was cool. The long flight was great. Joe, what up, Joe? I'm Ruckus' nephew. Watson the Great says, what up? Magnachar says, are you able to see the stars from that altitude at night? I don't know. I came in and got right to the live stream last night. It's 7:22 a.m. here. That is true. It is 7:22 a.m. here, so the time difference is there. Congrats on 100K on room 9, says Watson. Thank you. What up, AD? You check out Hotel Del Coronado. They have a nice setup with lights and everything. I don't know. What is it? Tell me what that is. What is Hotel Del Coronado? I don't know what that is. What's up, Miss Sandra? Rory Whitfield in the building. The news is just crazy right now. What news are you looking at that's crazy? If it's something that y'all want me to cover outside of what I already have planned to cover, then let me know. And if it's interesting enough, then we can pivot over. So, this is just in real-time live stream. This is not something that we have to do. Very informal, very cool, very chill, very, very opportunistic as far as talking about all of the stuff that we need to talk about. All right. It's a hotel in Coronado Island in San Diego. It's a famous hotel. My grandpa is buried nearby. I've sent you a few stories through email. No, I'm not familiar with it. So now, this is the plan. All right, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Then we'll go ahead and get into the show. All right. The plan is this. We have after hours tonight. All right. After hours tonight, no matter where we at, we still work, we still grind, we still hustle. So we got after hours tonight. And I'm going to be posting. I'm transitioning all of the content over into the Patreon from the vlogs. So that'll be over there. And then I have a release video that I'm dropping tonight on Patreon to basically give you all the updates, explain the new tier that's coming, because I'm going to drop the new tier today. And then we're going to continue to evolve. All right? So that's how we're going to rock out. Any questions? Any questions? If you are not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Is there a video on the Patreon describing the difference between a traditional and a Roth IRA? How to choose the right one for you, but broken down in simple and easy way to understand. I'll just tell you right now. The difference between a traditional, well, I don't want to get into it right now. So individual retirement accounts, basically one is pre-tax and one is post-tax. That's the difference between Roth and traditional in general. Whether you're talking about a 401k, IRA, whatever. One grows post-tax and one grows pre-tax. That's all it is. So if you want to save taxes early, then you want to go traditional. If you want to pay the taxes ahead of time on the income and then let your investment grow without having to ever pay tax on it again, then you go Roth. The real difference between the two is how much you want to save on your adjusted gross income on your taxes today versus how much you want to allow for yourself to grow tomorrow. That's it. That's really the only difference. That's the only difference. That's really the only difference. The difference between anything traditional versus Roth is Roth, you pay the taxes ahead of time, but it grows tax-free, so you get all your benefits on the back end. I like back end. And traditional is you take your tax deductions and your benefits now. Either way, you can't go wrong. I prefer the Roth. All right. That's pretty much the difference. All right. Brandon Burke says, what's good, AD? Do you feel like a church can hold you back from greatness? And is it okay to move on? When I mean move on, I mean from the church and not God. Here's the problem with that, Brandon, is that I do think that you can outgrow your environment, whether it's church, your neighborhood, or anything. The problem with that, a lot of times, though, is that people don't continue to praise God, have God at the forefront of their life. They don't look to connect with people. They stop reading their Bible. And so it's almost like out of sight, out of mind. Most of the time, people use that as an excuse to break away, but they don't necessarily graduate to the next thing. They don't continue to keep God at the forefront of their life. They just hit the streets. And that's the problem with that. Yes, you have to evolve and you have to grow. The problem is a lot of people just forget about God and they act like he never existed until they go through something. So you always have to keep God at the forefront of your life. You know what I'm saying? Let me read some of these super chats and these cash apps, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the show since we got a decent amount of people in here now. Let me see what's happening on Cash App. Oh, also, I've been vlogging, and so you'll get the whole layout of this place, along with me traveling here, changing the weather, and all of that. All of that's gonna be on the vlog. What's up with all these advertisements on Cash App? Shout out to Mike That Dude. I appreciate you, Mike That Dude, for holding me down. Thank you, Mike That Dude. On Cash App, always. TS Car Wash and Detail Services, AD salute. What up to TS? Brian, the filmmaker, says, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I have shown envy for the good weather you are experiencing while I'm stuck in the cold. Don't worry, I'll be back there next week. I'll be back in the city next week. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, you saw 50 Cent going on Let's Rap About It podcast? Yeah. Slimmy just sent me that. But I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that on After Hours tonight. It's going to be a great show on After Hours tonight. Tucker Luck says, Anton, I would like to welcome you to the beautiful city of San Diego, the finest city in America, baby. I agree with you. So far, I tend to agree with you. Let me ask y'all also a question. Are y'all more of a hotel or Airbnb type of person? Are y'all more of a hotel? This is for the chat. Are you more of a hotel or Airbnb type of person? I'm more of a hotel type of person. But if I'm living or if I'm in a place for an extended period of time, then I'll get an Airbnb because it allows for me to have, live there. Like when I was in Miami, if I'm in Miami for a month or so, or even for 3 weeks or so, then I'll get an Airbnb or I'll rent out a place. But I'm more of a hotel type of person. I like hotels. I'll just get a suite or something. I think hotels are way better and you get points. Certainly more hotel. You saw what T.I. said about church? I haven't. Send it to me. Send it to me. I don't trust Airbnb hidden cameras. Yeah, that's why but see, you can also go with certain hosts. Like you don't have to go with the cheapest option. I usually go with certain hosts that have a certain reputation and all of that if I'm going to do an Airbnb. And again, it depends on where I'm at because you might want to overlook the water. You might want to overlook the city and all of that stuff. So stayed at a Hilton in Nashville for about a month. Go to the Gaylord Opryland. Gaylord Opryland is dope. They have tools you can check. Facts. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into the show. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. If there is something specific that y'all want me to review, then let me know, and we can get into it. But very much off the cuff. You saw send me what T.I. said about church. And then I'll be reading super chats and cash apps throughout the show. All right. Let me see one more thing. Make sure we hear. Shout out to Isaiah. Wait. Shout out to Isaiah or Respect. Says Isaiah 4:1. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, Respect. Thank you for holding me down on Cash App. Derek Grove's got 100 years. Isn't it like 7 a.m. there? Yeah, but it's 7 a.m. here, but I've been up since 3, something like that. I get up early. I still operate on Midwest Detroit time.
All right. Let's see what's happening out here in these streets. All right, so this is some of the stuff we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about Nick Reiner, Rob Reiner's drug addiction. Obviously, we know he got arrested. We're gonna talk about Chicago's business owners choose a city. And I heard that they rounding y'all up in Chicago over owning gun licenses. I'm gonna dig into that in a minute. The police is cooking the books over in DC, apparently, and they resigned. The manhunt for the Brown shooter, we're going to get into that. First-time home buyers are 40 years old. We're going to get into that. And we might do a reaction video or two. But the first thing that I want to dig into is, hold on, I want to get into it real quick. I got to switch over because, you know, I've been messing up not going with a premium account. So we're going to get into that. All right, let me get this set up and I'm gonna share my screen with y'all because this is pretty interesting. So this is the first story that I'm gonna talk about. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Oh, let me switch my camera around too. There we go. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock out.
Tonight, a Georgia woman suffering horrifying chemical burns after being attacked in a popular Savannah park. Photos from her hospital bed showing bandages around her entire head. We spoke to her son and best friend who've been by her bedside.
I don't know that I'll ever be able to unhear just the terror in her voice.
Police say the attack happened around 8 Wednesday night as Ashley Wasilewski walked through Forsyth Park after a church program.
She felt and could see in the shadow from one of the lamps in the park somebody very close to her, and she turned around and went to push him, and then just in that split second was like, why is he pouring water on me?
Within seconds, Wasilewski's clothing started disintegrating.
She looked down and she could see that her pants were burning off of her.
She was later flown to a burn center in Augusta, the FBI now working to identify that chemical that left her so badly scarred. So
hold on. I need to understand how this happened again.
Best friend who've been by her bedside.
I don't know that I'll ever be able to unhear just the terror in her voice.
Police say the attack happened around 8 Wednesday night as Ashley Wasilewski walked through Forsyth Park after a church program.
She felt and could see in the shadow from one of the lamps in the park somebody very close to her, and she turned around and went to push him, and then just in that split second was like, why is he pouring water on me?
Within seconds, Wasilewski's clothing started disintegrating.
She looked down and she could see that her pants were burning off of her.
She was later flown to a burn center in Augusta, the FBI now working to identify that chemical that left her so badly scarred. Savannah's mayor posting this photo of what he calls a person of interest, asking the public to help identify him.
I can't tell what that person is. Look like they got on a Bugs Bunny t-shirt or a hoodie. I don't know what their race is. Let me see something. Acid attack, Georgia. This is crazy, bro.
This photo of what he calls a person of interest, asking the public to help.
I can't tell what that person looked like. Y'all saying that's a YN? You can't really tell, honestly. Like my initial thought is that it's a black person, but it might be somebody else. He looks black, but it's a lot of people that look black. I just can't tell, bro. You cannot tell whatsoever. You can't tell. You can't tell. That's crazy.
Help identify him. Forsyth Park is an iconic tourist attraction.
Forsyth Park,
even featured in films like 1997's Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Savannah police now stepping up patrols at parks across the city and saying that based on their initial investigation, the victim does not know her attacker.
We have no evidence that this is part of a larger pattern.
Meanwhile, Wasilewski's friends and family are focused on her mental and physical recovery.
Having someone sneak up behind you at random is going to follow her for a while. I mean, it's going to be hard to deal with, and there's going to be some
Listen, bro.
traumatic response to it.
Listen. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they were like, oh, man, I'm thinking about going to travel. It was a girl, and she said that she was thinking about going to travel to Mexico. I want to go travel to Mexico by myself. I could just go on a resort and all of this stuff. And I had this conversation, and I said to her, listen, you keep saying this over and over again, and let me tell you something. You don't know the dangers that are out here. I don't know if your friends is saying this to you. Going down the street, this woman was walking in a park after a church service, and next thing you know, she got an acid attack. She thought that the person was throwing water on her, and the person is literally pouring acid on her, and it's burning through her clothes. People get attacked every day. I only bring y'all a small, very small, because I always like to go local. Then I like to deal with whatever is popular culture, international, whatever. And then we get into the money or we get into a reaction video, right? For women, it's already dangerous enough for men out here. But for women, you guys are food. Have you noticed that most attacks happen against the most vulnerable? Even when you look at those MTA attacks or the CTA attacks, the Chicago Transit Authority attacks on the trains and stuff, or when you see people get thrown onto the tracks in New York in a subway attack, I've done reaction videos of that. It's not like regular guys like us or big men or guys that, is healthy, can defend themselves or whatever, that can get into a little tussle, a kerfuffle with you. It's not that. It's usually a homeless person or somebody that's sleeping or a woman or an older woman or an older man. It's never just a regular, normal guy that can actually give you a little bit of, backbone to it. And I'll also tell you this, what you never see. You never, ever, ever, ever see, and if you do, it's rare. You never see a woman get attacked when she's with a man. You never see a woman gets attacked. Now, I'm not telling y'all that y'all can't go to the store and go to the gym or do whatever it is that you want to do. Right? That's not what I'm saying. But you never, ever, 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 even when a woman goes out, right? Let's say a woman goes out by herself, right? And she halfway cute or she halfway decent. You know what you see? Guys feel comfortable. They say whatever they want to say. They're aggressive. They shoot their shot. They do whatever it is that they want to do. Let that same woman reappear with a guy, he'll act like he never knew her. He's thinking in himself, man, I hope she didn't say nothing. I hope she didn't say I tried to talk to her. Like, they are men, just the presence of a man, just the very presence of a man. He ain't even got to be like super bulky or whatever. Just the very existence of a man changes everything that's around you. And when I see this stuff, and it very much, very, 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 very much, is a tragic situation to see a woman in a hospital and she has no clue who threw acid on her. When I see this stuff type of happen, it just reiterates what I keep telling people. Now, anything can happen to anybody at any time, and that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is you have a much higher chance of survival, whether we're talking about in modern times today or in hunter-gatherer season. You have a much higher chance of not getting assaulted, not getting hurt, not getting acid thrown on you, much higher chance of survival. You're much less likely to have a situation or even somebody look at you as weak or food or vulnerable. And there are monsters all around us, you have a much greater chance when you have a man with you. Or even when you go in pairs, if you don't have a man, because guys will still do whatever it is they're gonna do when it's two women, right? But you're still less likely because there is a greater possibility of something going wrong. And the last thing that they want to do is get caught. And so seeing this, my natural instincts and my natural reaction is to say, hey, ladies, now is not the time. It's not the time. You see these shootings, you see these acid attacks, it's demonic behavior everywhere. I just seen a video that I ain't even reviewing today because I chose to do this video instead, of a guy that this black guy, he wound up killing this girl, and they're not even sure if he even knew her or not. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see something. I don't know if I already have that. Yeah, man accused of killing a Charlotte mother.
History involving the man accused of killing this woman, Frasier Baker. She's the Charlotte mother, had been missing for a week when her body was found in a car in West Charlotte on Thursday. Lorenzo Inman Jr. is charged with murdering Baker and is being held in the Mecklenburg County Jail tonight.
You just don't know. You don't know. You don't know what the heck is going on. Chick is a mama, body been missing. Like seriously, when I'm telling you this stuff, I'm not just making this shit up out of the corner of my eye. I'm using real life examples of stuff that I've even read, seen, heard, watched, reaction videos. People send me stuff all the time. And I have people whose job it is to go through and mine through every single thing that y'all look at and everything y'all send me in an email, and they give me a summary. Hey, I got this story, I got this story. So wait a minute, let me hear that. Let me see that. And so I look at this stuff and I'm like, y'all are very much a target. Black, white, you're a target. You're a target. You're the weakest link. And people that attack people or do stuff to people most of the time, they pick the path of least resistance. They pick the path of least resistance. So, I see this stuff and I know I'm supposed to just report on it or whatever in the news and all of this stuff. And I see this and I'm like, listen. This woman was supposedly coming from a church situation. And now she lost her life.
A disturbing story right now. Tonight, an online fundraiser has raised more than $100,000 for a victim of an acid attack in Savannah. And police said that the attack appears to be random, and they're still looking for a person of interest. Here's NBC's Aaron Gilchrist.
Tonight, a Georgia woman suffering horrifying chemical burns after being attacked in a popular Savannah park. Photos from her hospital bed showing bandages around her entire head. We spoke to her son and best friend who've been by her bedside.
Look at this. Look at that, bro. She'll never, ever, ever be the same. Never, ever. And nobody deserves this. Nobody deserves to be randomly attacked. And I know some people will try to blame God and they'll be on some, but as a church person, the word of God says that it rains on the just and the unjust. Your serving of him ultimately leads to more grace, more protection, so on and so forth, more wisdom. And sometimes he gives you insight, like right here, me telling you right now, hey, listen, proactively, be careful. Go out in pairs. Don't go out without a man. Don't stop trying to be independent. Don't do this. Don't do that. And so he'll warn you sometimes, you know what I'm saying, and let you know. But ultimately, it rains on the just and the unjust. And this woman will never, ever, ever, her life is going to be completely different here going forward, all because a monster decided that he wanted to change the narrative and change the direction of her life. That he wants to change her narrative and change the direction of her life. And it's evil, and it's ugly, and it's demonic, and it's bad. It absolutely is bad. Straight up. It's bad. There's no other way around it but to say that it's bad. Real talk. And it's unfortunate. It really is. It's absolutely unfortunate. Prayers up for this woman. I hope that she makes a full recovery. I hope that her life changes for the positive and for the better. But I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. And I think this is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And yeah, it happens in blue cities. Listen, attacks happen all the time. Sometimes things happen and we don't even know. We're not even aware of what's happening out in these streets and the type of attacks that's happening on people. All I'm saying is be careful. Ladies, let me say this again, and I really, really want to emphasize this. If you don't have to, stop putting yourself at, and stop going out late at night. Stop being in the streets late at night. Ain't nothing out there once it turns dark outside, unless you going from point A to point B to get over to the man's house that you're supposed to be at. Then you're going to have to bust it down for a real one. That's a whole nother conversation. Outside of going from point A to point B, stop being out at night. Stop stopping at gas stations. I was out filling up the cars the other night, and I stop at the gas station or whatever, and I just see girls, and they so situationally unaware. One girl and a passenger, two black girls, looked like they was about, 29, 30 years old. One girl and a passenger, the other one, the one in the passenger, she like this the whole time, looking down on her phone. The other one, she just completely oblivious to every fucking thing. And I was just thinking to myself, And then, I want to make sure, and listen, this is let me tell you the difference between the two me's. All right. I'm going to tell you the difference between the two me's. The first me is like, well, because I got tinted windows on my nav, right? And so the first me is like, well, let me just hold off for a second and just stay here, just in case, to make sure that nothing happens to them. And, I'm going to keep my phone out, and I just want to make sure that they can get their gas. That's the first me. Because I went and got in the car, and I'm about to pull off. The second me says, well, the culture is so messed up nowadays to where I can't even sit here in the car without me looking like the person that is trying to do something to them. I might look like the creep that's trying to do something to somebody because I'm sitting here trying to make sure that they straight, and I don't want nothing to happen to them. But then at the same time, I might look like the sucker, and then I gotta, what if they start looking at me like I'm the creep? So, I had to make an executive decision. So I just slowly drove off and, made sure that I caught the light so I could make sure everything was cool, and then I was out of there. But, you caught between the tail of two worlds, and you don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what to do. I don't know how to play it. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. Make sure you hit a like for an algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I sent a TI video to you about church. All right, I'm gonna look at it in a second. These women have to be more observant. That's a fact. AD, when these things happen to women, what do you tell your wife and daughter to do different? They watch my show just like everybody else, so they hear me. Like, I'm indirectly talking to them while I'm looking at this. You see what I'm saying? So you don't always have to say stuff. You just have to say it loud enough to where you know that they hear you, because you know that they're receiving it. I don't have to directly say nothing. They watch too. J-Ben says, Moy's best friend don't count either. He a B2. Oh my God. Shout out to B Hunter also. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? You got to just speak loud enough to where they can actually hear you. Is my audio good before I get over to the next part of the show? What up, Kay Lavery? My dude says a gay man only counts as a quarter of a man. DVD case update. Audio is cool. All right, cool. What's happening in the DVD case? Let me see what's happening. DVD case. Hold on, let me see what's happening. David. I don't see anything official. I don't see anything official right now. I'm gonna come back to that. Let me do a little bit of research and I'm gonna come back to that. All right. Let's get into real news real quick because I want to get into this Brown University situation because they got a manhunt on the way for this guy, and they saying that the authorities released a new video of the suspect in the Brown University shooting. So I'm gonna show that and I'm gonna play that, and then we're gonna get into it. All right. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Are hoping there are new leads in the urgent manhunt for a killer who is very much still on the loose. He killed 2 people in this building right behind me and has been on the run since Saturday afternoon. Police now have released new images of this person, the individual they believe to be connected to this shooting. You can see them right here. These are 3 pieces of new video. They're asking for the public's help here in this new video, which is clearer than the images we had seen. Officials are pointing to the fact that this individual they believe is about 5 feet 8 inches tall. They identify him, the FBI is calling him stocky. You can see the
Wait a minute. Now is not the time, respectfully. Now is not the time to be politically correct. All right? Now is not the time to be politically correct. It's a big bag. All right? It's a big bag. Definitely a big bag. So they want to sit here and say, oh, no, he's just stocky. No. They're calling him stocky. No, he has a little bit of a gut over there. He has a big gut. He got a trucker belly. Definitely got a trucker belly. Now is not the time to be politically correct. It's a trucker. Yeah, got the kangaroo. Husky, big back. Listen, 5'8", look about 290. You know what I'm saying? About 290. Can't put his arms behind his back all the way. Come on, man. Come on. Let's get to it.
jacket there, 2-tone jacket.
What's him?
It may be a little bit of green, and clearly the man is masked. There also appears to be an identifiable gait in the way that he walks. Officials say he should be considered armed and dangerous. They don't know whether he is still in the area. It's been nearly 72 hours now since this shooting. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward in the case, and they are asking for both help and patience.
It's painstaking work, and we are asking the public to be patient as we continue to run down every lead so we can get victims, survivors, and their families, and all of you the answers you deserve.
All right, this comes after police cleared and released another man who had been described as a person of interest in the case. That was a move that led to concern and confusion on campus and all around the city. With me now is CNN's Lee Waldman, who arrived on scene.
I can tell you what happened. FBI over there just wasting time. Look at him.
On campus and all around the city. With me now is CNN's Lee Waldman, who arrived.
FBI over, y'all ain't got no better tools in your boots. FBI ain't got no better tools in the boots. Come on, man. Come on, man. We got it. Give me a metal detector. Give me something. I can tell you what happened. You want me to tell you why they released the other guy? I'm going to tell you why they released the other guy. This footage that they just released did not fit the description of the person that was the shooter. Once they started going through and looking at the actual footage, they was like, you know what? These two things don't match up. They probably confirmed it and looked at his cell phone footage or whatever as far as what towers he was pinging from, and they went from there. That's all it was. Once they started acquiring the Ring camera footage and the surveillance footage, they was like, all right, that's not you. You not him. We're going to go ahead and get you on up out of there. That's usually what happened. I still stand on what I said. I said this yesterday. I'm going to say it again today. I don't believe. I think this guy's out of Dodge. They don't have no facial information. They ain't got no tracking information. Listen, just by the way that he was moving. Let me go back to this footage real quick. See him with his hands going behind his back and stuff like that? I could profile better than the FBI sometimes. Watch this.
New images of this person, the individual they believe to be connected to this shooting. You can see them right here. These are 3 pieces of...
Yep. It's this right here. Let me show you. This movement right here.
Connected to the shootings of this person, the individual they believe to be connected to this shooting. You can see them right here.
Got a trucker belly at least 280.
These are 3 pieces.
That right there, that move right there, that means he's at least 37 years old, probably closer to 43, 44, 37 through 44, because no man that I know that is under the age of 35 and is a big back puts their hand behind their back and paces and then stands like that. That's also a white man stance. That's not an Arabic man stance. That's not a black man stance. Asian men sometimes do it, but Asian men tend to not be big backs like this, and they do not pace back and forth with the same stride that a white man has, all right? This man is a white man, a white pink toe. He's between the age of 34 through 47, pacing back and forth. When they put their hands behind their back, I see this happen inside of the grocery store all the time. It happens at Home Depot. Any person, listen, fellas, let's have a conversation right now. Let's have a conversation right now, fellas. Most of us have been to Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, because we took on a project that required Are we back yet? Are we back yet? All right, I had to switch over for a second. Connection was a little bit spicy. Let me see if I can figure something out real quick. I'll be right back. Let me go grab my charger. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me grab my charger. That's a fact. I sure did need Starlink internet. That's a whole fact. Should have brought it with me, but I didn't. Let me get back to profiling this man. Wait, give me a second. Where was he at? There it is. All right, let me share my screen again. Get back to effective profiling. So, as I was saying, every last one of us, all of the fellas know that if you've been to Home Depot, Lowe's, let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, that we're trying to do a home project like flooring, right? Let's say you're trying to lay wood floors for the first time, all right? Let's say you're trying to lay floors for the first time. And you go and you say, you know what? Let me figure it out for myself. Let me see if I can get the flooring. So you pick the flooring. Your budget is not quite what you thought it was, but hey, listen, I'm going to go ahead and do this thing. So you pick the flooring, and then you don't realize that you need spacers, or you don't realize that this floor may not be a laminate where it has the interconnector, and then you got to go do this, and you got to go back to Home Depot, and you don't got the right tools, all of this stuff, right? So that's when you go about, making some adjustments, and you have to go back and forth to Home Depot, and you got to go back and forth to Home Depot, right? Well, you start to pay attention to different people, whether it's the associate that's serving you, or whether or not it's the person that you standing behind. Is this all right, so let me see if I can switch back. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can switch. Are we good? Let me know. Let me know if it's any clearer. Did it clear it for y'all? I look like a Roblox character. Is it clear for y'all now? Are we back? All right, cool. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is this is a stance. This man is a stance of a person that is clearly a white man. This is a white man stance here in the United States of America. 34 through 47, white man, big back, regularly going to Home Depot to go and get his building materials, gets his gas, stands in and pumps his gas, definitely carries a weapon, is a CPL holder, and probably watches conspiracy theory videos on YouTube all day long. All day long, this is a white man, white, big back, white man, 34 through 47. All day long. All day long. Minimum 34, usually somewhere around 43. Now, if they ever catch this guy, then we're going to come back and revisit this to see if my profiling skills is right. But I'm not even sure that they're going to catch this guy. I'm pretty sure that this guy has probably caught a flight. He may be in a different country. He probably has a passport. He's probably over there playing around with lady boys right now. Facts. That's a stance of a gun rights father whose son has $137,000 tuition. This guy isn't a student. He's not a person that attends the university. I don't believe that he's alumni. None of that. None of that. You think it's a black man? Get the hell out of here. Look at how this guy's walking.
Released new images of this person, the individual.
Ain't nothing black about that guy. It ain't nothing black about this man.
They believe to be connected to this shooting. You can see them right here. These are 3 pieces of.
That's not a black man. That's not a black man. Black men don't put their hands behind their back like that. Black men do like this. They don't do like that. They do like this. All day long. Ain't nothing black about this guy. Real talk.
New video. They're asking for the public's help here in this new video. They're right here. Person, the individual they believe to be connected to this shooting. You can see them right here. These are 3 pieces of new video. They're asking for the public's help here in this new video, which is clearer than the images we had seen. Officials are pointing to the fact that this individual they believe is about 5 feet 8 inches tall. They identify him, the FBI is calling him stocky. You can see the jacket there, 2-tone jacket, maybe a little bit of green, and clearly the man is masked.
Yeah.
Jacket there, 2-tone jacket, maybe.
I already cleaned this image up right here. I already didn't fix here. Let me do some FBI work for y'all. Y'all want to know some more insight here? Let me give this a clearer view. Present image. What we got going on here, guys? Let's see if we can get a little clearer here. We can fix this. We're going to catch him. We're going to at least find out where he at. Let's do a little bit of work, clean up, refine. We might be able to get that a little clearer than that. There we go. There we go. We can get that. There he is. That's him right there. That's him right there. We went from that to that. There he is. There's your guy. That's your guy right there. That's your guy. There's your guy. That's your Home Depot guy right there. There it is. There's your guy. Him, we just go ahead and enhance that. We own it, guys. We own it. That's your guy. Here, don't worry about it. I'll hook you up. Here we go. This your guy right here. There he is. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's your guy. See how we do that? This is what technology was supposed to be meant for. See, we went from this right here. Oh, let me help you. This right here, that's not it. That's not him. You can't get nowhere on that. We're going to clean that up, though. There we go. There we go. That's your guy right there. That's it. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh. I don't know what's up with this connection, bro. What's up with my connection? Oh, man. I have no clue what the hell is going on right now. I'm so aggravated. I'm so aggravated right now. What is up with my camera? Why is my camera not working? This don't have nothing to do with YouTube. This is the connection that's in here. And this is another reason why I actually like hotels better. Learned experience. Learned experience. Let me make the adjustment. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about this at all. Agreed, bro. Agreed. You sitting here in a $7, $8, $9, $10 million house, and I don't understand this. This is the thing that I truly don't understand. How can you be spending all of this money and you can't even get the highest internet? Real talk. Honestly, it pisses me off, bro. Seriously. Let me refresh. Aggravates me to my core, bro. Aggravates me to my core. Now the cameras ain't working the way that they're supposed to. Aggravates me to my core. Got all of these views, all of this stuff. They fucking cheap out on the internet, bro. We gonna do this show anyway. I'm not about to not do my show. Let's see if I can get this working. Give me a second. Oh, I know what's wrong. There we go. All right, we back. We back. All right, we back. You said AD is going to leave a 1-star review on the listing. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not going to leave a 1-star review. I'm going to leave a 5-star review because I ain't trying to mess up nobody's money. Is my audio good? Are we good on the audio? I'm loud now. All right, let's see what we got going on. All right, cool. Audio is back good. So we should be all right. Y'all ready to go ahead and get it popping? My audio wasn't good before? Yeah, I think it was a mistake on my end too. Back at 8K, we good? All right, let's continue on with the show. Yeah, Brown University, we'll talk about that. I'll keep y'all updated on that. Let's move on with the show. Carrington Love Jr. says, good morning, everyone. What up, Carrington? TS Car Wash and Detail Services AD was in the Omarion video, Icebox, and froze up. Bag Jacers, PD is real. Shout out to Mr. Lott. FBI need to give you a call that's clearer than anything that they've put out. Look like they interviewing the witness on the first 48. Shout out to everybody that's holding me down, and let's continue to rock out. All right, y'all. We back. We good. Everything is good. All of the stuff is right. All is right in the world. All right, y'all. Let's continue to rock out. So let's see what we talked about. Brown University. I want to get back into this Rob Reiner whole situation. All right, let me switch over real quick. Let me see something. Cancel that. Police surveillance video. We got that. Chicago business owner sues the mayor. No, we didn't get to that. This was from back in 2016 with Access Hollywood. All right. I'm going to share this with you guys, and then I want to get your perspective on it. All right.
Set me off.
Yeah. Were you ever worried that you don't seem very fiery to me? You seem like you might just...
I get crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to set me off.
Yeah.
Were you ever worried that?
That's wild, bro. That is absolutely wild. If you think about this, and this is the thing that we have to start paying attention to when it comes to foreshadowing, the dad agreed. The dad agreed when he says that I get crazy, you don't want to set me off. That means that, all right, let me ask y'all a question. I just want to ask y'all a quick question before we start getting into this, because obviously we know that the son was arrested and all of this other type of stuff, right? I said last night that I believe that this was partially a parenting issue and then partially obvious. We have to force people to start taking responsibility and ownership of their situation. Anybody that's coming on there that's being coddled by their father, and the father is like, yeah, definitely. He does get crazy. He can definitely set off a room. Anybody that's being validated like this, honestly, if I had to guess, I would say that they've been gentle parenting and they have never been held accountable for their actions. I would say this is gentle parenting and they've never, ever been held accountable for their actions. The reason why, and see, I don't believe in all of this. Oh, he's just going crazy because he's autistic. He doesn't understand what he's doing. I watched a video of a person and they was calling everybody niggers because, they was walking around and all of this stuff and all. And I'm like, wait a minute. So y'all just going to let that is a learned behavior. He heard somebody say the N-word. And that's why he's walking around, this kid, and they, oh no, he's just autistic. He's just crazy. He doesn't know what he's doing. He let him call everybody the N-word with the hard ER and all of this stuff. Man, where did he learn that word from? And why do he feel so comfortable doing it? Real talk. I'm being so honest, bro. He didn't make that up out of the blue. He gravitated to the word, and he knows when to use it because he don't use it on white people. He only use it on black people. So you smart enough to know all of that, but you're not smart enough to know how to not to use it. You was able to put together all of your context clues, but you wasn't aware on how not to use it when it came to black people, right? The dad is sitting there. Look, watch this. Watch the dad. Yeah, he can get real crazy. He can get crazy.
You don't seem very fiery to me. You seem like you might just... I get crazy. Yeah. Okay. You don't want to set me off.
Yeah.
Were you...
He think it's cute. Dad think it's cute. That's just Nick. That's just Nick. Probably was tiptoeing around the house. Mom probably said something. Hey, Nick, please don't throw around all of our expensive china. Fuck you, Mom. Fuck you. Dad, you don't want to set him off. You don't want to set him off. Hey, can we call his therapist? Can we call the therapist? Can we gentle parent and try to figure this out? No. He's always been like this since he was younger. I remember when he was a baby and he used to throw his toys at the window and break all of the windows. And I don't, it's just the way that he was.
You ever worried that that Nick could shine poorly on your career or something like that?
No. That never crossed my mind. I mean, he's my son. I love him. It doesn't matter. That he's more important than anything that could happen to me.
Charlie, why don't you tell us what you want to thank God for?
Like parallel to your life, or almost all of it?
No, we took from our lives, but it's a fiction. I mean, Nick can tell you because he you know, he went through all of this, and he took, I think you took from a lot of different people, didn't you?
Yeah, from my own experiences and from also seeing other people going through it, and also the varying establishments that I was in, you really get a sense for that whole world. So it's not like copy and pasted, but it's definitely derivative of, you know, reality. Sort of like a 4-year process. Like first we started out with this like slapsticky half-hour comedy.
Anybody that sits there and says to you, "Hey, no, guys, I get crazy. I can get lit." If you know that you can say that out loud, then that means that you got enough sense to know that you're not supposed to be doing what you're supposed to do. And in that instance, we can fix this. We can fix this. All of this is solvable, in my opinion. All of this is solvable. All of this is solvable. Let me call my mom real quick. Oh, shoot, I'm using the wrong camera. I don't know if she's going to pick up for this phone. I know. Listen, my mother can solve for this. I don't know if she got this number. If she ever locked this number.
Your call has been full.
Let me see. I know how to fix this. I know how to fix it. Yeah, I might have to call my grandmother. Y'all ain't never heard me talk to my grandmother. She know how to fix it too. Grandma know how to fix this too. All people in my family, all of the men, all of the women, they know how to fix all of this. We can fix this. All of this, yeah, you know what? Because I just do what I want because I can go crazy. We know how to fix all of that. Drive the devil far from thee.
The pilot, that was horrendous. Bad jokes and everything. And he looked at it and was like, eh. And then
I just felt he could go deeper. He could go deeper with it. I mean, it was funny, but I felt the subject matter, you know, should allow him to go deeper with it.
Yeah, well, that wasn't said at the time. It was sort of just like, hey, this is trash. But anyways, we went along, and 4 years went by, and then I met up with Matt for a bagel in New York City, and we were like, what about that old script that we were, you know, maybe there was some good stuff in there. We went in and we looked at one page, and we were like, this is terrible. And then, yeah, I just sort of wrote a new pilot, then got around to him saying, would you like to make a movie out of this? And we were like, we don't know how to do that. And then we just tried to do it.
Was it cathartic in a way to
You see how the father continues to laugh at everything. He thinks his son is the cutest thing in the world. Everything is. I bet you the father was completely different when he's directing and when he's dealing with everybody else. And he's probably very stern and on top of things and saying, you know what? Hey, listen, you know, we're going to have to do things differently, or, hey, get that set up and all of this stuff. The father is tiptoeing around the son. And that means that he's probably easily manipulated, taken advantage of, and they're validating this demonic behavior.
You visit the journey?
Yeah, of course.
Did Larry just address Tina, his boss's boss?
Everything is going wrong today. Now we're not on premium either. All right, we switch that.
You don't seem very fiery to me.
And then we just...
It turned out that that's what happened. I mean, it forced me to understand a lot more of what Nick was going through, and I think it forced him to see what I was going through, and that brought us closer together. And during the process of working on the film, it took about a year just working on the script. The first draft they wrote was like 190 pages. They had thrown everything in that they had gone through.
Manifesto.
Yeah, and as we shaped it and changed it, the whole process brought us closer together because we started understanding each other a little bit better.
I'm not going to listen to you tell me what a drug addict I am.
Tough, damn.
Careful, I'm one of your constituents now. You wouldn't want to lose the governor's race by 1 vote.
You can either head back to treatment or live on the streets. It's your choice.
I can't tell exactly what got me into them besides the fact that I thought they were really cool and I just wanted to do them. But I think I heard this question a lot, and I think the only answer I can give for wanting to tell a story like this is that it's even more powerful to tell it about someone who is going through this and they're given everything and they're in an opulent situation and they're still deciding to go to the drugs. And
you're hearing it out of the horse's mouth. You're hearing it out of the horse's mouth. I'm going to play it one more time because this whole film that they made was something he identified with, and it was loosely based on him. Listen to what he's saying.
But I think I heard this question a lot, and I think the only answer I can give for wanting to tell a story like this is that it's even more powerful to tell it about someone who is going through this and they're given everything and they're in an opulent situation and they're still deciding to go to the drug.
It's clear to me. It's clear to me. Come on, wait. Let's go back for a second, John. This is a different type of show. We're not gonna say the politically correct thing. We're not gonna do none of that. We're gonna have a real conversation amongst us. And for all of my white folk here today, because you know I love my white people also, because I rock with y'all and I rock with everybody that rocks with me. I'm going to educate you if this has never been communicated to you before, because y'all do some things right. You guys are incredible capitalists. You take advantage of every single resource around you. I mean, the fucking oil that's in the ground, the minerals, and put them in cell phones. You guys are capitalists to your core. All right, I give you that. You're incredible politicians. You know what I'm saying? Kids are super fucked up though. And let me tell you how. Let me tell you the difference. Our kids are fucked up too. Okay. Our kids are super ghetto. A lot of them think that they have to have this assimilation. And this is why we have code switching, right? When you then get into, you know, and they overcompensate when they get into certain space. Hey, Bob. No, that's crazy. And so you like, oh man, little necrophilius. He over there code switching again, trying to think that he gonna fit in, but his name is still necrophilius. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we think we got to qualify ourselves. Our parents gave us some generational curses, named us necrophilius, all of that, right? And we do some fucked up shit. I mean, for real, if you go in the hood, they got switches, all of that. So we own that. But let me tell you all about y'all and y'all kids. We look at your kids in the grocery store. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a real instance. I was getting on a plane, and I'm so thankful that I ride first class, and I let you guys sit in the back now. We don't sit in the back of the plane. We sit in the front of the plane. So I'm getting in and had to use the restroom, so I didn't board the plane first. And so I'm sitting there with the rest of you guys, and I'm waiting to get on the plane, right? And I see a little kid, a little white kid, and him and his mother and his father looks absolutely frustrated. He's starting to have a shortage of hair. His sides are starting to thin out, and I could tell that he's relatively a new father. And the mother, she ain't got no fucking control. And the kid is doing like this. Mom. And every time they tell him to do something, he do like this. And he falling on the floor, and he fucking getting dragged up to the gate and all of this other dumb shit, right? And I see you guys. I see you in the grocery store and your kids don't mind putting a hand on you. Mom, and they keep on growing up and they get stronger and they keep on putting their fucking hands on you. And I see y'all. And when you go and pick your kids up, yep, I went to both public school and private school in the inner city. So I've seen both. I've had a compare and contrast. Unique upbringing, but it qualifies me to speak to this situation. And your kids get in trouble and you say, I'm going to tell your father. And then your kid came back to school and I said, hey, fam, what your father do? Oh, man, you see that car out there? Oh, you can't drive the BMW today. You get to drive the Honda to school today. Okay, cool. Sounds good. So there's a disconnect. There's a super big disconnect. And the reason why this motherfucker is talking about giving everything in opulence and I still chose the drugs, you're graduating these niggas into being school shooters. You're graduating them into being liberal and gay and feeling like they have to find their self. And black people, let me also qualify y'all too. Stop following retarded white people that are trying to find themselves and thinking that you can relate. You can't. You can't. It's not the same. He don't come from where you come from, so his discovery of himself is in his sexuality. You just poor and you didn't know how to go and get no money, so you think that you can discover yourself the same way that he can, but his punk ass father got a something waiting for him, and he's gonna make him a film when he get home. You just got a bunch of student loans. So it's a difference. Stop trying to be something that you're not, and the culture is not the same. It's not the same. You want to be gay because he gay, or you want to be gay because she gay, and you gonna go all the way into demonic culture. Next thing you know, you in Atlanta at Trapeze, and now you standing outside of a fucking clinic because somebody gave you chlamydia and AIDS. She's gonna reform herself as a hoe, and she's gonna get remarried, or she's gonna get married after slutting it out with the whole football team. So it's not the same. You can't do the same thing that everybody else does. Back to the point that I'm making. Y'all with this gentle parenting, and I think that black people got that shit from white people. Y'all got this gentle parenting going on, and it's not working for you. It's not working for you. Do you want to know why a lot of capitalists turn so evil? It's because y'all learn how to make money, but you didn't learn how to develop character. And that's why your kids, like him, is over here killing his parents. Yeah, by the time he hit 44, he was going to get it together and he was going to probably start to, acquire the company and start to take over. But he a fucked up kid because he learned how to make money, but he never learned how to be a good person. And that's where the rod of correction comes in. It's the equalizer. It's the balance. It's the balance. It solves all problems when you parent correctly. It's fear, consequences, character, love. It's the great equalizer. It's the equalizer. This is the thing that gives you balance, because you're not going to act no fucking fool when you get to school tomorrow, are you? Put your hands on that goddamn wall. Put your hands on the wall. Take it off. I dare you to take it off. I had a couple of white friends from UAD Jesuit, and they would come over my house occasionally in order to play basketball, and they got a good whooping one time. Do you know that their parents said that they were different people? My mom didn't discriminate. When something went wrong, everybody got a whooping. And at first it was like, I can't believe you hit me. And then that next one came through, whoosh, whoosh. Mom wasn't going to sit there and start discussing it with you. Oh my God, what? Ah! Then they start screaming. It sounded like little girls. And I was like, oh, y'all not built like this. I was more enjoying the whooping than they was because I was so excited to see what the reaction was, because I had never seen white people get whooped like that before. But mom didn't play no fucking games. Their parents came back and said, they're completely different people, Miss Daniels. Oh my God, he's different. He's respectful. Because see, when my mom whooped, she didn't just give you a whooping. She gave you a lesson while she was whooping you. And you're going to get your together. And you're going to stop being disrespectful. Because I know you talk to your mama like this. But see, we're not going to play that game over here. My mama gave lessons during the whooping, and it permeated with you differently. All of this opulent shit. Oh my God, I still want drugs. Oh, you think you like the rest of them kids over there, huh? So they over there full of the devil, and you forgot. Let me remind you, is the devil still there? The devil's still there? No, the devil is gone. Let me see. It's still there. It's a whole lesson. It's only about 3 words per lick, but you trying to get that whole goddamn sentence out because that shit hurt. Fix all of this shit, all of this goddamn gentle parenting, going back and forth, trying to convince you, getting you in therapy, spending all this unnecessary money on you to keep the economy up, therapy and drug rehab and all of this, and they're trying to get you to connect with your feelings. We're going to solve all of this. We're going to save a bunch of money, and we're going to solve for it. Keep on talking to your big head. Got the devils all up in him, right there on that fucking video right there. It's all in him. It's permeating in everything in him. You said you keep jumping in your seat at work, getting flashbacks. I'm gonna keep it 100. This is what drove away the victim Olympics, because my generation, they didn't get as many whoopings as I got. And so what happened was it separated us, because I understood that, hey, listen, there ain't gonna be nobody that try to stop me from doing what I'm gonna do, because I got to take care of business. I ain't got no time for this. I got things that I got to do, and I got people to shake hands with and all of this, because I had an expectation on my life. You running in the victim Olympics because your mama thought that you was cute. Oh my God, look at his braids. Ooh, everybody likes him. That's why you gay. That's why you so gay today, is because you didn't have an expectation and they kept telling you how cute you was, and even the boys like you now. That's why you sassy as fuck. This whole culture in society is messed up. And see, I'm not going to mince no words. I'm not going to keep going back and forth. I'm not going to try to convince you. That's why there's so many feminine men that need a daddy that keep coming back and forth in the chat with me, asking me, oh, are you from the United States of America? Bitch, shut the fuck up. Who you talking to, nigga? I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you. Niggas is over here, can't get themselves together. You don't know who you are. I'm trying to discover myself. You trying to qualify yourself for a hoe, talking about you going to therapy. I need to go to therapy. Nigga, keep on communicating with me your love languages. Nigga, you a hoe. You ain't never had no backbone. You ain't never been through nothing. You don't know what this life is about. That's why your man is so weak. That's why you keep looking for masculinity. And every time I come around, you don't know what it is. It's an aura about him. He just different. And your man is jealous because he just as feminine as you. He just as feminine as you because he didn't have no strong upbringing and no father in his fucking life. And that's why that nigga's a bitch. That's why he a sucker. That's why he want to play video games all day and he don't want to go to work, because I need balance in my life and I need mental health crisis. And all of his S's is like with the fifth, and all of his T's is like this, and his S's go real long. He's just sitting his way through life. because you weak and you a sucker and you ain't never had no strong upbringing. You ain't had no uncles, no fathers, no brothers, none of that. That's why you got to have more boys than girls inside of the family, because if you don't, everybody is going to be walking around with their S's like this. They're going to be teaching you how to dress. So weak, a weak culture, a weak group of people. Y'all want to be white so bad. You want to embrace their culture so bad. You want a gentle parent so bad. You didn't realize that being broke was the blessing because it saved you from getting your throat slashed. Being broke was the blessing because it prevented you from busting hell wide open. You got that core value, upbringing, all of this stuff. You stayed in church, you stayed focused, saved your fucking life. Got saved with the Holy Ghost, saved, sanctified, speaking in other tongues as a spirit of God, give utterance. You was focused. And now you've lost your way and you turned against the church because you think that the church is supposed to serve you. And instead of you seeking out some kind of insight, information, and asking God, what is it that you want from me? You so busy begging because you always under duress. And that's why you so focused on blaming everybody else for your fucking problems and you's a bitch. And somebody got to tell you, it might as well be me. At some point, somebody got to give you some real insight and information about who you are. You's a hoe and the real dude ain't in you. Keep on experimenting, going from city to city, sleeping with God knows what. You think that you can find some semblance of normalcy outside of the country because it's not here in the United States of America. I got to get my passport so I can go and talk to some women. Nigga, you paying for pussy. You's a hoe. That ain't never been player. That ain't never been real. I don't know where the game is switched to where these niggas start talking about going overseas to buy box. What the fuck are we talking about? Where's the OGs at? Where's the OGs at? Where's the real ones at that said, listen, I know, look, we might be a little bit off right now. You might be going through something. Maybe you went to the coffee shop one too many times. You're a little bit liberal. Cool. We all go through that shit. We all went through it to where, you know what? I don't know who the fuck I am. You know, do I want to be a tech worker? Do I want to go and work at a coffee shop and look, you know, put on a quarter zip or some shit like that? Cool. I'm with it. Your phase is supposed to be some dumb shit. Yep. You start wearing penny loafers. You like Carlton. All of a sudden morning, you like Will Smith. I'm with it. I'm with it. You're going through a phase. You might have slept with a snow bunny or here or two. Yep, you discovered some trees. You got a little high a little bit. You niggas is off some other shit. Y'all on perks. Y'all fucking around with men. Y'all doing all of this dumb shit. Like, where did the masculinity go? Everybody goes through phases, but you're not supposed to get so far away from your core beliefs. But the problem is that you never had any core beliefs. That's why the word of God, see, I'm going to bring it back for you. The word of God, you'll never depart with it. Put them in them young and they'll never depart from it. They got to come back to the thing that they was taught. They got to come back to whatever their destiny is that they was put in them. They got to come back to whatever it is that God had for them. They never going to get so far if you put it into them young, but you so busy trying to make them so cute and dress them up and make them, he's a little doll and he's going to be somebody else's doll. That's why you put it in them young, because we're going to go through shit. We gonna get our heart broke. We gonna have a hoe or two over here. We gonna like a white chick here or there. But you always supposed to come back home, nigga. Come home. You out there with them folks, bro. You done moved out to a place, into a land that don't even know you, and you don't know why you can't discover where you supposed to be. You running from your destiny. Ain't shit out there for you. You wasn't born out there. That ain't your core. You think you're going to discover something new? You not. You know what you're going to discover? A bunch of other people that's trying to figure out who they are, and y'all all leading each other right into hell. That's why I visit. I'm a visit. I'm a discover. I'm going to take what I can from wherever it is that I go. I'm going to switch up the weather. But guess where I'm coming? I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming. I ain't got to move. I ain't got to move. The world move around me. I don't have to go and figure out what life is. I'm going to go and discover what it is that I can take from you, and I'm going to bring it back home. You know why? Because my purpose is my purpose, and I don't switch up under any circumstances. Yep, we fuck up. Yep, we mess up. Yep, we dibble and dabble a little bit, but you got to come home, nigga. Come home. Come home. Stop being a dummy. Whatever it is that you got going on in your life, see, I didn't know we was going here, but we gonna go there. Whatever it is, because you know, and I don't have to say it to you, you know what the fuck you doing. You know where you fucked up. You know that your kids need you, nigga, and you know where to be found. Your kids are young and growing, and you letting a funky bitch that you should have never been with in the first place raise your children into being suckers, and you gonna regret it. That's your kid. They look like you, they talk like you, but they walk a little more sassy, and you're doing them the disservice. You out here running around doing dumb shit, listening to these punk ass motherfuckers. Man, listen, let me tell you something, bro. I've never in my life, can we just keep it 100? Chat, can we keep it 100 before we get back to the show? Can we keep it 1,000? Can we keep it 100%? Because I don't give a fuck about what these niggas think anyway. Can we keep it 100%? I've never in my life, not once, I've never in my entire life of being on the internet and observing countless videos that y'all have sent me, I have never seen a passport bro that I was like, that nigga is sweet as fuck. I want to be like him. I have never, not one time, seen a nigga that go overseas to get pussy and was like, yeah, that nigga's the prototype. He cool. I have never in my life, not once, not one, you cannot name me one nigga that is just great. And I was like, I could take something from him. I have never in my life, not once, ever seen a nigga that had to go overseas to buy box and said he is him. Not once. Who the fuck is y'all following? Who are y'all taking advice from? Who are y'all following and who are y'all taking advice from? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Because anytime that I take advice from somebody, I have to be able to see the results first, right? If I'm looking for financial advice, I'm looking to a nigga that got results when it comes to his finances. If I'm looking for advice when it comes to relationships and marriage, I want to know, even if the person is no longer in that they were able to sustain it for a long enough time, that I could take that advice and say, you know what the fuck you talking about, right? Anytime that I'm looking for insight and information, if I'm going to go and take a cooking lesson, I'm not going to take it from somebody that don't know how to cook. I'm going to take it from somebody that clearly is an expert in their field, and that is what I'm going to look for. So here's my question, right? Because I'm trying to understand, even if it's an imbalance, even if it's a 60-40, 70-30, 30% is a pretty big number. 40% is a pretty big number. If it's 199, 298, 397, I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why am I listening to niggas that I would never follow in real life? I would never listen to niggas in real life, ever, 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 in no capacity. Not with finances, not with resources, not with being successfully married. In no capacity would I listen to these niggas in real life. In no capacity. I see these niggas in real life sometimes because I'm outside, so I really do be out here. And I see y'all. I meet y'all in real life. I had a meetups. I kick it with y'all in real life. I look at these niggas and I be like, why would I follow this nigga? This nigga's awkward. He's awkward. He's weird. He's weird in real life. Weird in real life. If I wouldn't follow you in real life, why would I listen to you on the internet? You can get mad if you want to. I'm cool with that. Listen. If you're mad right now, because if somebody was to say all black people is broke, I would never get mad. You know why? Because I'm not broke. So if the shoe fit, wear it. So if this doesn't apply to you, because let me tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to give you the blueprint and then we're going to get back to the show. If it never applied to you, then it's not anything that I need to defend myself against. But the people that it applies to, the nigga, they gonna be so butthurt. They gonna be so butthurt. It's people that's butthurt right now. That's cool. That means that we need to do the work. We need to do the work. You could never offend me with something that's not applicable to my life. You could never offend me with something that's not applicable to my life. Ever, in any capacity. We'll find out who it is. We will find out. Somebody said, who are you talking about? I don't know these niggas' names. Promise to God, I have nobody in mind. Zero particular people in mind. I've just seen it. You see it. It's a cultural thing. It's a cultural issue. I have nobody in mind at all. Zero. Don't mean it's any less true. I see it overall. I see it in general. When I hold women accountable and I say, hey, they need to stop being baby mamas, I'm not referring to anybody in particular. I don't have anybody in mind. I'm speaking to a cultural issue. But you're going to find out the niggas that's feeling some type of way about it. And do I give a fuck? Absolutely not. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Fuck these niggas. Fuck them. I don't give a fuck. They don't put no money in my pocket. They ain't never helped me. I don't need these niggas. I'm here. I'm way up here. Give a fuck about what nobody is saying. I stand on my own too. I'm a solo artist. I'm a solo act. And I got my friends with me. I don't need none of these niggas. Not even a little bit. So even if you are offended, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care even a little bit. Your father should have had this conversation with you and I wouldn't be saying this right now. I don't care about these niggas. So it's not, and I ain't, for what? For what? I'll never mention these niggas' names because it's nothing to shoot at. I'm shooting in the air because I'm way up here, nigga. You see them clouds? You see them clouds right there? Let me show you the clouds, nigga. That's clouds. That's God talking right there. I don't see these niggas. I'm way in the clouds. Everywhere I stay, I'm all the way up here. Even when I'm back in Detroit, I'm at the top floor, penthouse, nigga. Don't talk to me. Talk to your hoe. Talking to these niggas. I'm at the top of the mountain. Y'all ready to continue on with the show? Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. What we talking about next? What we talking about next? What we talking about next? Yeah. See, they thought that they was gonna mess up the stream with the internet connection. Nah, the internet hit just at the time that it was supposed to. It hit just at the time that it's supposed to. Whiskey Pierre Louis says, Anton, shalom, sir. I see you going through some stuff right now. Prayers and hope you are successful for the day. Oh, no, we good. We good. But to see $1 million channel, still relentless regardless issues, tell me I'm lazy. Let's get it. TS Carwhite, my connection was a little messed up earlier. Dang, AD joined the DPD. They messing up your connection because you solving a case. Ain't that Tom Brady? Told you, AD. I said I think it always signs shown before someone's crash out like this. Mr. Lott says it's like those people who can't handle their pit bulls. Oh, he don't bite. Spacer says necrophilius. Is he Gloctavius' brother? Yep. Shout out to my girl Mika says, what white household is this? My dad whooped my A. Yeah, see, but it's not all white households, but the ones that it applied to, they're going to feel some type of way, right? Brian, the filmmaker, says, my mama whoopings were ruthless. Charles Watson says, salute AD and bag chasers. Your prep talks be as intense as Goggins. Us men need to hear that raw talk. Salute, big dog. Salute to y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. What up, Desiree? What up, Desiree? Let's come home. We need a reset, honestly, before I get into the next part of the show. I think we need a reset. Too busy, got too much going on, too much happening all around us. Too much happening all around us. Time to get back to the core of who we are and remember where we came from. There were only two things that AD said that I didn't like, but I found myself working on those same two things because the reality was I needed to hear that. Let's get it then. We all got stuff that we need to work on. We get into it. West Coast Sign in the building. Dub SCG. Nothing but a Cali hit. Somebody said, how do we get here? That's the thing. You never know. You just go with it. You just go with it. It just is what it is. You can't control where you're going to go with these conversations. All right, let's get over to the next thing. What else we talking about? Y'all want to get into home buyers? Y'all want to get into the money now? Wait a minute. Hold on. Before we get into that, I heard they cooking the books over in D.C. Before we get to the money, I heard they cooking the books over in D.C. MPD Police Chief Pamela Smith tells why she's stepping down. All right, we're going to get to that.
Moments ago, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro here in Washington, D.C., responding to allegations the D.C. crime data was manipulated by the outgoing police chief, Pamela Smith. That claim coming from a new House Oversight Committee report. Our congressional correspondent, Bill Malugin, with the latest on Capitol Hill. Bill?
Well, John, Republicans on the House Oversight Committee say their investigation concluded that this outgoing D.C. police chief was trying to make the city seem a whole lot safer than it really was, and she was doing it by allegedly cooking the books on crime statistics. So the Republicans on the committee say their investigation consisted of interviewing 7 different D.C. Metro police commanders who represent all of the patrol districts out here. That included a former commander who's currently suspended for allegedly tampering with crime stats in his own district. And these are some of the conclusions they've made in their report. Number one, they allege that D.C. Metro Police Chief Pamela Smith pressured commanders to report lower crime stats by any means necessary. Commanders testified that Chief Smith pushed them to pursue lesser charges that aren't publicly reported, even for serious crimes, and she also required certain crimes to be reviewed by her office. In a statement on this report, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says in part, quote, Chief Pamela Smith coerced staff to report artificially low crime data and cultivated a culture of fear to achieve her agenda. Chief Smith's decision to mislead the public by manipulating crime stats is dangerous and undermines trust in both local leadership and law enforcement. Meanwhile, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser was asked to respond to the House Oversight Committee Republicans' findings earlier this morning. Take a listen.
I don't see any evidence of that. If the claim is, and I don't think anybody has demonstrated that the police chief directed anybody to change numbers. When the committee provides me their backup information, which they haven't, when the committee provided the report to the Washington Post before they provided it to us, highly unusual when you're talking about an audit of numbers.
So let's level set here first. All right. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do what I've always done. I'm gonna throw it in your face, and I'm gonna say, I told you so. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it in your face and I'm going to say, told you so. What have I been saying at the rooftop for years now? What have I been saying at the rooftop for years now? Do you think that there's any coincidence? All right, let's put it together. I'm gonna put the pieces together for you so that you'll have your good talking points when y'all go on these panels and Clubhouse and all of this stuff. Why do you think that Muriel Bowser, right, the DC mayor, is adamant about resigning, well, not even resigning, but not going to run for re-election all of a sudden once Trump demanded that he send National Guard troops into DC? And we've all known which cities are the most violent cities. So she just mysteriously is not running for re-election for mayor of DC, just so happened to be right after Trump decides to take over DC from the National Guard and all of this stuff. Why do you think, right, as violent as all of these crimes have been that I have been reporting since the beginning of time, right? Since the beginning of time. Since I've been doing this and I've been doing these videos and bringing y'all all of these different crimes and statistics, and you see ShotSpotter removed of the budget, literally a couple $1 million to keep ShotSpotter inside of Chicago, because trust me, this is happening all across the United States of America. All of these cities just so happen to have a huge reduction in crime once everybody came back outside in historically horrible places when it comes to crime, right? And they did so by having boots on the ground and community advocates and all of these things that are pointing to the right thing. Well, when you have a police chief that says, listen, I don't want to know how y'all fucking doing it, but make sure y'all get these stats down by any means necessary, what do you think is going to happen? Lower response times, underreported crime. I just did a looting story out there in Los Angeles the other day. They said that the police don't even show up no more. I called. I actually jumped on the phone and made some phone calls to better understand exactly what's happening. But see, I didn't call the actual police department. I called the businesses and I talked to them and I asked them, I said, listen, what is going on? Give you the Cliff Notes. What is happening? They said the police don't respond. And when they respond, they don't arrest anybody. I said, what do you mean they don't arrest anybody? He said, they just want them to clear out and they don't even do anything because they're being directed to underreport crime. So even if they was to have to arrest somebody, they don't want to do the paperwork. And when they do the paperwork, they reduce the crime or they find out a way to not report it as a felony, which then allows for the criminals to run free, the businesses to suffer, the residents to suffer, and then ultimately the police chief and the mayor can sit there and say, well, crime is actually down. So whatever we got going on, it's working. We want to misdirect these funds in order to push it out to the community advocates. Then they start hiring criminals and they start making deals with the streets. And the politicians is just as bad as the people that's running the gangs. Just as bad as the people running the gangs. Why? Because the data and the statistics are more important than the actual real life situations that you have to face as a resident, and your property taxes go up and your crime goes up along with it. The crime goes up along with it. It's a racket. It's a racket. 100% it's a racket. They're looking to get more federal dollars and they're doing whatever it is that they got to do in order to qualify for it. So now when you see them saying directly that diversity and equity and inclusion, big back police chief is cooking the books in DC, you don't think they're doing that in other places? You don't think that politics exists even when it comes to public safety? Let me tell you something. Anytime that you throw money into a situation, anytime that funding has to be a part of the situation, it's no different. Actually, it's 10 times worse in corporate America. In corporate America, do you know how you qualify for funding for your particular program? It's the same way that they do it in politics. That's how I know that you have to be a businessman in order to be successful as a mayor, city councilman, governor, state legislator, congressperson, senate, or president of the United States of America, because everything is a fucking business. And you know what politicians care more about than they care about public safety? funding. And you know how they get their funding? Qualifying when it comes to federal government grants, when it comes to whatever it is that they're designating. And that's why you see politicians going state to state, because they are promising. This is why Eric Adams turned against the Biden administration. You know why? Because New York was putting up their own money in order to house migrants, and they thought that the federal government was going to protect them. And then you combine the fact that Trump wind up winning the president of the United States of America, they lame ducks. Now you got a fucking Mamdani in there. I'll tell you how it works. Listen. Let me break it down for you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. In corporate America, you don't punch in, right? I'm not talking about the person that's at the floor on the manufacturing floor. I'm not talking about the person that's trying to make the cars. I'm not talking about the male person. I'm talking about white collar, going up the ladder in corporate America. I've been there. I've seen it. I'll tell you how it works. And I'm going to relate it back as to why they cooking the books, okay? And you're not going to get this nowhere else because they don't know shit. They ain't never been this high in corporate America. They don't really understand how budgets work. They've never been in the C-suite. They've never had a conversation. They don't know, right? They've never built a business. They've never worked in corporate America. They don't know. So you're going to get it here. And this is why we're the Millionaire Morning Show, because we real, but I'm going to break it down from a C student's perspective. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right. This is how it works. As an executive, you have a bird's eye view. So you're not in the mire. You're not in the details. You're overlooking the entire thing. So your goal is to make sure that you return shareholder value. It's income, outgoing, revenue versus costs, profitability, return value to shareholders. Make sure you boost the stock price. That's your goal. You are a salesman and you have to make decisions from a bird's eye view. So what do? You have to allocate a budget for a specific percentage of the budget to be reallocated to certain departments. You look at numbers. You don't know people. You don't know what they do. You don't know what it is that they deliver. All you have is a general idea and you have a number, okay? How do you then determine what amount of money goes to what department? Because you can't necessarily quantify the value that that department has because they don't bring in revenue. So for example, let's say research and development or continuing to develop an app in an agile environment, right? Which means that you're continuing to iterate. In a waterfall environment, you get a product, you deliver, and that product just exists. In an agile environment, you're continuously iterating. So let's say you launch an app or you work on the ATMs. If you go to Chase, you can see that they continue to update the ATMs or they continue to update the software. Or if an app on your phone and you got an app where you pay your mortgage or you pay your banking or whatever, right? And in order for them to compete and in order for them to keep you as a customer, they have to continue to iterate. So they're upgrading and they're releasing and they're fixing bugs and security fixes and all of this stuff, right? But how do you qualify the value of the people that work on that team? What if you can save costs by bringing in a contractor? Or what if you can save costs by getting rid of the contractors and bringing everything in-house? How do you make that decision as a CEO or a COO or a chief technology officer or a director? How do you then make that decision? How do you make that decision? I'll tell you. I'm going to break it down for you. The way that you make that decision is that you start to look at the first thing, which is billable hours. The reason why you keep timesheets, because y'all ask the question, well, I'm a salary worker. Why do I have to fill out timesheets? Why do I have to put things in certain buckets? You qualify it by basically pitching a program, and that's how you then start to bucket your time. Well, I spent 5 hours on this. I spent 5 hours on that. I spent 3 hours on this. I'm designated to this particular project. And anybody that works in corporate America, they will tell you that your manager is going to be on your head. Did you fill out your timesheets? Did you bill to this particular project? Make sure you bill to this particular project. You're running out of money on this project, but make sure you bill to this. You know why? Because then when they go into a meeting with us, they say, listen, this is how much we need of the budget in order to continue to add value because we have to keep this product in flight. And we also got this coming down the pipeline. So this is how we then qualify ourselves to get a portion of the budget that you guys are allocating in order to make sure that we're continuing to innovate at this company. Let me relate it back to politics, all right? I'm going to use the police department, for example. I coach a lot of officers. I've coached officers that are in charge of some really big things, right? So, for example, let's say that the police department comes through and they say, well, listen, our officers have to continue to spend this much in overtime because we're being overwhelmed on X, Y, and Z. Well, guess what? The federal government has a specific budget that is allocated towards special projects, interests, and so on and so forth. That's why a lot of these departments and a lot of these cities are now having to go back to pre-COVID era spending because they had all of this extra money and they used it to basically make sure that their budget was straight, but then they were allocating it towards programs that wasn't necessarily adding value to the people. So now you would have to ask yourself this question. You have to ask yourself, well, how do they then qualify? It's billable hours. It's billable hours, right? But there are certain criteria that you have to meet the expectation for in the same way in corporate America, where you would say, well, how do I quantify the value that I add into this organization? And that is across the board: sanitation, infrastructure, police, public safety, neighborhood watch, migrants. Now, if you've ever bid on a government contract before, then you know that they are automatically, I get them every day into my emails. I get them from the city, I get them from the state, I get them from the federal government. And they are pitching and they're saying, listen, this is what's coming down the pipeline, or this is what we're going to need. And so make sure that you put yourself in a position to be able to get this money. Make sure you get these federal dollars. Do you know what Congress people do? They only do two things. They are supposed to be managing the purse strings of the United States of America. You know what they really do? They raise money to keep their seat, and they lobby the federal government to make sure that they can have money allocated to their district because there are special programs coming down the pipeline based off of what is being negotiated in the budget. So when you see the federal government and they say, listen, we're going to hold this thing off, or we're going to go into a furlough, or we're going to have to shut the government down, they're not shutting the government down because they're trying to get healthcare coverage. It's people that is holding out because they're using that as leverage to negotiate for more monies from the federal government and the budget to be allocated towards their district. And this is why you have to start getting involved in politics. This is why you need to understand what's happening. This is why you need to educate yourself. When people say to me, well, I don't vote because I don't really know what's going on, or nothing is going to change anyway, you're operating out of ignorance because you don't know any better. You don't know any better. So when she cooks the books, let's bring it all the way back. When she's cooking the books, she's doing it for a reason. She's not doing it just because it's fun. She's not putting her job on the line and her reputation on the line because it's fun. She's doing it because it's feeding into something greater that would then generate more revenue for the city. That is why when you see all of these politicians, whether it's Brandon Johnson, Mike Johnson in Denver, when you see what the fuck is happening over there in DC, they don't want Trump to come in there and stop the crime, because then Trump can say, well, listen, y'all don't really need the money like that, or we know what's really going on because we in here and we see what's happening. They would rather you know the devil you get used to the devil that you know, versus you actually experience something different, because then you're going to change your mind on how you see politicians and how they manage the city. If an oversight committee comes in, or an auditor comes in and say, what the fuck is y'all doing in here, right? Then everybody, even in corporate America, everybody starts to get a little tense. You know why they get tense? Because, man, we not really doing shit, but we billing for shit that we not doing, and that allows for us to feed our family. They're cooking the books for a reason. I've been telling y'all this for years. Do you know why black people are so poor? You know why your neighborhoods are so fucked up? Because you're ignorant and you don't know any better. So You'd rather sit here and call me out of my name than for me to educate you on why you need to get off the Democrat plantation and better understand exactly how the government works. You'd rather be mad at me for calling out what I see is destroying you and your family because they're using you as a prop. They don't give a fuck about if your family get robbed. They trying to figure out how to get more money, and so they may let you get robbed so that they can solve the crime and then justify the billable hours so that they can get a better budget and then they can get a promotion. You become a prop so that they can get resources, and it's all about a dollar. You just like count day at school, nigga. You count day. You count day. You think they want to solve for the crime in your community? Not unless we can get paid for it. Not unless we can leverage it. Not unless I can get a raise or promotion. Politics is big money, boy. This ain't about being a public servant. Public servant went out a long time ago once we start raising taxes. Because when we start raising taxes, more money start flowing. And when more money start flowing, it start going into people's pockets. And you can't justify it, but it makes sense. Then they start distracting you with Diddy and diversity, equity, and inclusion. And stupid programs and community services. And they start planting into your mind that somehow, some way, they gonna give you reparations. So you spend all of your time arguing with a nigga about some shit that ain't never gonna happen instead of educating yourself about what the fuck is going on in your own fucking community. Because you don't know. So you elect the nigga based off of him having a mohawk instead of better understanding why he gonna be worse for your community than the outgoing person that came in and Lori Lightfoot. So busy being distracted, so busy not being educated, so busy not understanding, so busy being a victim, so busy talking out your ass on this internet about some shit that you don't know, and you look like a fucking fool because you don't know shit. You dumb as fuck. You dumb. You a dummy, and you don't even know it. Don't even realize. Don't even understand that you a pawn. You sacrificial. They're not looking to make you a king. They're not going to fix your situation. They're not going to give you no money. They're not going to give you no reparations. Boy, what you think this is? You think that they're going to look out for you? You think that they're going to fix your community center? You think that they're going to actually fix your recreation center? You think your school's going to get better? That ain't how this game work, boy. That ain't how the game work. The game ain't set up for you to win because you too dumb. And so instead of you educating yourself so that you can better understand why somehow, some way, the data is all fucked up, my community is worse, but they spending more and more money every single day, and they telling us that the community is safer, but every single time that I go outside, it's a YN with a switch outside. You can't understand why it don't match up. And you know what they do in order to solve for that problem? When you start figuring shit out, they give you a fucking distraction. Give you a distraction. Take your mind off of it because you're too fucking focused. You're too focused. You care too much about your children being educated. You care too much about your property taxes. Why does property taxes go up? Oh, you know what? We'll just tell them that the rich people are going to pay their fair share. You paying that shit. Your taxes is going up. You think we going to ever pay more taxes? I don't pay more taxes. I pay less taxes. You going to pay for it. I'm not going to pay for nothing. The poor people are going to be the ones that pay for it. And the devil is right there standing next to you saying, I want your vote. Vote for me. I look like you. I'm just like you. You need somebody in office that is a representation of your skin color. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Gus, what up, Gus? Says, thank you, Anton, for speaking the truth. I appreciate you, Gus. The Sheet Water says, are we cooking the books now? The Wire told us about this trick. GD says, you cooking in Cali today? Make that move, bro. I love it out here. 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 I don't know if y'all want me to be live streaming on in Cali. I'm different. I'm different in Cali. Oh, man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. For the collection plate, Pastor Daniels. What up, Nichelle? Hey, listen, maybe tomorrow I'll tell y'all how y'all pastor play into that also. Preach, brother, man. I tell my family they think I'm crazy. You just can't explain it as well as I can. Every day, I'm going to get one of y'all off the plantation. Every day, I'm going to get one of y'all, one person a day, I'm going to get you off the plantation. What up, Chad from Morris? Chad from Morris says, loving the energy, AD speaking facts. Every day, I'm going to get one of y'all off the plantation. Every day, just one. If I could save one of y'all, I'm going to get you off the plantation. And it's not just a Democrat plantation. It's just a plantation. All of it is interconnected. Relationships, Democrats, Republicans, money, corporate America. You got to understand it. You got to hear me. And then let me warn y'all, and I'm going to go over to the next part of the show. Let me warn you. The more that you learn, the less you're going to wish you knew. The more you learn, the more connected you become, the more you understand what's going on, the more people that you surround yourself with that's giving you information, the less you're going to wish you knew. It's a curse sometimes. Curse sometimes to know too much and to know that the people that are against you sometimes don't even know that they're against their own best interests. It's a curse sometimes. Let's get over to this. I want to talk about the money, as though we haven't already been talking about the money. They say the average home buyer is 40. Let me share this. We'll get into it.
Owning a home still part of the American dream? It is for a lot of us, certainly was for our parents. But as we have this conversation about affordability these days, it seems we're fussing over the price of gas and beef and eggs a lot more than we are about the price of a home. Could make a 3-2 with a picket fence in a yard just seem out of reach. Does that make you question your version of the American dream?
I mean, you're deciding whether or not you're going to have kids, whether or not you're going to have another kid. Can you afford a car? What type of house are you going to buy?
We've seen that the median home price has gone up about 50% since 2019. But if you look at the median monthly payment, it has gone up much faster by about 78 to 80%.
How many people have you started working with and then eventually had this conversation where, like, now's not the time? Work your budget, come back to me in a year or two.
So this year has been a little more challenging than other years.
8 years old area puts them squarely in the top 10% of earners all across our country. It means making more sacrifices, more compromises, and it's pushing us to ask a lot tougher questions of elected leaders who promise affordability. This is For More Context, your seat in the News 4 newsroom for a conversation about how we check facts, fight situation
that all of our friends are in. It is so difficult to buy a home in Northern Virginia, particularly if you've never owned one before and you don't have that equity built up.
And is that new?
It's not new, but it's been getting worse.
Yeah. What was it that made it a story now?
It's a story now because we have data that extrapolates it beyond just Northern Virginia. It's expensive to live inside the Beltway, regardless of what side of the Potomac River you're on.
Yeah.
It is even more expensive in pockets of Northern Virginia, pockets of Montgomery County, but even outside of that. This housing affordability is not just a DMV problem. It's a national problem. It's really tough here, but now we're learning that people are not buying their first home until much, much later in life. The average median first-time home buyer's age is now 40 years old. That's
being the average person buying a house at 40 years old is not a bad thing. The average person buying a house at 40 years old and getting a 30-year mortgage is a bad thing. I actually believe that the average home buyer should be about 40 years old. Now, of course, that's going to go against the norm. And a lot of people are going to revolt to that because they're going to compare themselves to their much, 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 much younger grandmother and great-grandmother and father and mother that bought their home when they were 22 years old or whatever. And let me first start off by saying that if it was that meaningful to you, then you wouldn't have sold your parents' homes in the first place. That's number one. Number two, your parents paid a much higher interest rate and they went through greater cycles of layoffs. It's true. Most people back in the day did not work 30 years straight and then retire, or 40 years straight and then retire, and they paid much higher interest rates. And here's the third caveat. They didn't buy it in a great neighborhood. They bought it in the hood. Most people, especially Black people, did not buy their homes in an affluent neighborhood with great schools and a Starbucks on every corner. They bought their homes in the hood. They got married early. They bought their homes in the hood. And that's how they got their start. They did not buy their homes out here in La Jolla and San Diego in the greatest weather. They didn't. A lot of y'all that are complaining about affordability was raised in the projects. Your mother and father never even owned a home. Oh, we don't want to talk about that part? We don't want to talk about that part? Some of y'all was raised in the hood on Section 8 housing, and your parents never owned a home, especially a lot of y'all that were raised in single-parent households. I'm always surprised when people give these generalizations and they're not really even old enough sometimes. Sometimes you're 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and you haven't really lived life, so you don't really understand what happened. And this is why I think that people that are life coaches have to be a lot older, but that's for another conversation. A lot of your parents also never, ever paid off their mortgage. But some people did buy their home, and some people eventually paid off their mortgage, and some people left their kid, they house to their kid, and then their kid sold it off and all of this other stuff. But then I have to ask myself this question before I even had this conversation. And I have to say, why are so many people, if your parents and grandparents had it so good? Let's ask the questions before we dig into it. If your parents and your grandparents did it so much differently, and they owned their home, and they bought it when they were young, I'm asking myself the question, why is there still so many people taking out a mortgage for a home that was allegedly paid off? How come you don't have your parents' home? Why is there so many people applying for mortgages if your parents bought and paid off their home? How come you're not owning, living, renting it out? What's wrong with it? Because if they had it so well, then how come you're not the beneficiary of it? I'm just asking the questions before I start to deep dive into it. I'm just asking the question before I start to deep dive into it. Why don't you own that asset if they had it so well? Because I've seen some people in the chat, and I like to interact with the chat. And when I said that some of y'all was living in the projects or this and that, some of you said, that wasn't my life. Okay, well, if that wasn't your life, let me ask you another question. Why don't you have the home that your parents allegedly made so great for you if that wasn't your life? Let me hear a little bit more of the story, and then I'm gonna dig into it.
In life, the average median first-time home buyer.
Wait a minute. Am I cooking or am I cooking today? I'm sorry. I'm in a zone. I just got like a download of information that's just coming to me. It's like I took a limitless pill. It's like I took a limitless pill. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Like, I don't know if it's the West Coast. I don't know if it's looking at the mountains, looking at the ocean. I don't know what's going on, but I'm in a whole nother frame of mind right now. I'm in asking the questions, prepping you to give you the answer to the question that I asked you, and it was kind of rhetorical, but I really want to get your feedback. Let me get back to this because I don't want to.
Their age is now 40 years old. That's as old as it's ever been.
Americans are waiting longer than ever to get into their first home.
If you want to buy a house with a yard in Northern Virginia, your household income will need to be at least $300,000 a year. So that is you and a partner making $150,000 each. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. I mean, there isn't really much left over after you pay the mortgage, if that's what your house.
If you and your partner are making $150,000 each, and you're telling me that there is nothing left after you pay the mortgage, I'm telling you that you are the biggest fool I've ever seen in my entire life. If y'all combined make $300,000 a year and you don't have anything left after you pay off the mortgage, you're a fool if I've never seen one before in my life.
Household is bringing in, and you're buying $1 million house in Northern Virginia.
But $1 million, I mean, I just think when we think about the American dream, it typically didn't come with 7 digits.
No.
And so I wonder what it means, and I don't mean to pry.
So let me, this is a conversation that I had literally this morning, and I didn't even know that I was going to have this conversation on here. I'm recording because I'm vlogging, right? Got my vlog camera right here. Got the vlog camera right here, recording, going through, and making sure that I record, because all of my vlogs and all of my insight and my mindset, everything is going on Patreon going forward. All right. So I'm working feverishly over the next 2 weeks to get everything set up on Patreon. And I had this conversation this morning, and I said, somebody asked me last night, or no. Somebody asked me today, how many square feet is this house? And it's massive. It's fucking massive, right? And it's like 3 levels on the mountain. It's massive. And then I looked it up and I said, well, you know, this is how many square feet it is. And this is how many bedrooms. This is how many bathrooms. And then I'm able to look up and see exactly how much is still owed on the mortgage. I'm able to look up, and I showed y'all this inside of the Patreon, so some of y'all are familiar with this. I looked up how much is still owed on the mortgage, when the person bought the house, who still owns the house, how much the average home costs in this neighborhood. And so this house is worth roughly like $8 million, like 8 to 10 million. This is a wide range. It's like $8 to $10 million, but I'm gonna go on the low end, right? So then I was able to look up the property taxes. And the property taxes is somewhere, I forgot, it was like $60,000 or $70,000 a year for property taxes. Something like that, right? And I was thinking to myself, so combined with the mortgage on top of the property taxes, because the property taxes every month is like $6,000 a month or $5,000 a month, $5,500 a month just for the property taxes. That's not maintenance. That's not mortgage. That's not any of that type of stuff. Now, the home is appreciated significantly since the person bought it like 18 years ago. It was like 18 years ago that somebody bought this house. And I was thinking to myself, why would I ever buy an $8 million house? I make a significant amount of money, and I can afford to live anywhere I can, anywhere I want in the United States of America, pretty much. This is my way of thinking, and this has carried me far, and some people may not agree, but I'm going to just share with you what my way of thinking is. I would rather live in a place that is more affordable and have a greater quality of life as far as having more resources in my pocket than spending all of my money to try to be in a space where I'm keeping up with the Joneses. I can come and visit. I'm actually creating content. This is my content creation house. I could literally write this whole fucking trip off. In Michigan, we have these suburbs, and it's called Metro Detroit. One of the most prominent suburbs in Michigan is called Birmingham, Michigan, right? Birmingham, which is roughly 15 to 20 minutes outside of Detroit, is the most affluent, one of the most affluent cities, small cities in Michigan. And some people that's from Michigan or in the Metro Detroit area can actually confirm this. People look to move to Birmingham so that they can say that they're rich or they live in Birmingham, or this is where Country Day is, where Chris Webber went to school, and all of the stars in Michigan and all of the rich people, this is where they send their kids, and they'll pay $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year in order to send their kids to that school and all of this stuff, right? And they'll come and try to buy a home, and they'll spend $2, $3, $4, $5 million on a home in order to try to get in here or whatever, so on and so forth, right? And it's killing them. It's killing them. It's killing them. There's other prominent places, yeah, Grosse Pointe, Bloomfield Hills. It's all around the same area. It's all Metro Detroit, right? And I was thinking to myself, because I never got caught up with keeping up with the Joneses. And I've always thought to myself, why would I ever move there when I can build a nicer house in a more affordable area where I feel more comfortable, and I don't have to necessarily get next to this white person, this lady that's 70 years old that bought her house in 1937 in Birmingham, Michigan? I don't give a fuck. I care more about my quality of life and my own budget than trying to make it make sense with other people. I'm gonna build a regular house because I'm rarely ever there. I like to be in downtown, so I prefer to go downtown and be there and spend the majority of my time there. My main house is wherever it is my main house is, and I'd rather actually be around people that I like and that I can relate to more. And I'd rather spend more money building up my own neighborhoods and my own communities than I would trying to pay property taxes to people that don't even give a fuck about me. And so everybody always asks me, well, why do you stay in Detroit? Why do you stay in Detroit? Because I love Detroit. It's the blackest city in the United States of America. I was born and raised there. I went to high school there. I love it. And for me, it makes sense because it's way more affordable and it's a higher quality of life. And I can also continue to pour money into my communities. Why would I leave the places that I was born and raised to build up somebody else's communities to try to qualify myself to feel good for who? For them? I don't have to do nothing for nobody. So when I see y'all do all of this great stuff, and y'all make so much money and you make so many smart decisions in your businesses in corporate America, and y'all making all of this fucking money, so you can give it to a city so that you can say, I live here. Now, if you just want to live there because you have your own reasons, you got to move there closer for your school, or this is where you was born and raised or whatever. Listen, I get it. I'm not saying that you can't live in these places, but most of the time we have an imposter syndrome that we're trying to solve for. And that is the real deep-seated trauma that's in our lives. You don't have to do something to qualify yourself for somebody else. You just have to improve what you already have. And most of us sold our mother's home because we didn't like the fact that it was in the hood. And so instead of improving our own environment, we copped out and we went and gave money to people that don't give a fuck about us. So now you feel like you got to qualify to buy $1 million home. For who? For who? Why do I got to spend $1 million when I don't have to spend $1 million? Why do I got to be stuck with this fucking mortgage and be house poor when I can live a greater quality of life by just appreciating what I already have and just improving what I already got? And then you know what the worst part about it is? You move out because you think it's the hood, and then other people came in and bought that shit up, and now it's worth $300,000-$400,000 more than what you could have got it for. But you didn't appreciate it, and somebody else seen it and said, "Yep, that's the play right there." And that's exactly what happened with the city. They were giving away property. Now, I seen a property that they was giving away for $1,000, and that place recently sold for $350. It's sold for $350. You know why? Because it's around the university district. And so they literally building everything around it. Who you trying to impress, bro? Who you trying to be like? Who you trying to qualify yourself to be like, bro? Y'all need to start practicing group economics. When I first started this video, I said, I agree with buying a house at 40, but I don't agree with the reasons why you buying a house at 40. If you practice group economics and you stacked your cash, you could buy a house and you wouldn't even have a mortgage. And it would be affordable for you to afford the property taxes. And you ain't got to worry about trying to qualify yourself to be like everybody else. It's what you make it, man. It's like a car. It's just like a car. Everybody want to go and get a new car. But all you got to do is wash it, get some new tires on it, right? Put some premium gas in it, get the inside detailed and cleaned out. Bro, you can spend $200. No, you got to get new tires. You can spend $1,000 fixing up the car you got and not have a car note. You can spend $1,000 fixing up the car you got, and that car is just fine. You keep trying to justify why you need to get rid of it. You could spend $1,000 getting new tires, cleaning it up, cleaning the inside, and taking care of what you got, and you could be riding clean, and you doing 10 times better than the person that had to go and get that car note. But we don't want to take care of our stuff. We don't want to take care of our stuff. We would rather qualify ourselves because we feel like we got to be like everybody else instead of stand down until you can actually do something greater. It's just like buying a car. Just like buying a car. But we got to change our fucking mindset. We got to change our mindset. You don't need an $800 car note, bro. If it's that meaningful, listen, here's the thing. If it's that meaningful to you, then save your money to ultimately buy it cash. You know what's going to happen? You're going to have that $30,000, $40,000 that you saved over the last 2.5, 3 years, and you're not going to even want to part with it. Man, I worked too hard for this. I don't want to get this over to them. You're not going to want to give it to them. You know why? Because now you're going to start thinking differently because you have a greater appreciation for what you had to work for instead of what you had to finance. You're going to treat it differently. You know what? I'm straight. I'd rather spend this on investing. I'm going to try to multiply this money. I'm going to fix y'all. 2026 is your year. I know a lot of times we like to say, oh man, this is, and 80, this is your year. 80 is your year. It's my life. My life is a winning life. 2026 is your year. I'm going to fix y'all motherfuckers. I'm going to fix your mindset. I'm going to fix your finances. I'm going to fix your budget. I'm going to fix your relationships. I'm going to fix your relationship with God. I'm going to fix everything that is wrong with you in 2026, and you're going to actually be a new person. I'm going to give you everything that you need to be successful. And it is going to be no excuses why you can't be great. You're going to stop begging people for reparations. You're going to stop begging hoes for pussy. You're going to stop begging for a man to come save you. And you're going to qualify yourself by being the thing that you actually looking to attract. I'm going to fix y'all niggas in this year. Kicking and screaming. You going this year. You're going to get your fucking life together. I'm tired of you. And you're going to get your mindset together. You're going to get your mindset together. We're going to do this together. Kicking, screaming, suffering, 100%. You're going to fix yourself this year, and I'm going to be right there at the forefront, pushing you, pushing you, pushing you. And when everybody else is suffering, that's going to be an opportunity for you. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. I ain't going to be the only one that's rich. Yeah, man, you cooking today. Shout out to Will to CNA. Coach Chris says, AD right now, I claim zero on my taxes. I don't even claim myself. Would you say that's a good strategy to stay out of tax debt and in trouble? Yeah, it's a good strategy. It's a good strategy, but you got to learn how to have discipline so that you don't have to do that. But we'll talk about it. AD question, why is Michigan a mortgage capital? Because we have United Warehouse Mortgage owned by Matt Ishba. And we also have Rocket Companies, which Quicken Loans and Rocket Mortgage or Rocket Financial actually is here in Detroit. And they do more mortgages, both on a commercial and a warehouse side, and residential mortgages than anywhere else in the world. And we diversified. We diversified away from the auto industry, and we started going into different industries, and we wanted to become the biggest mortgage industry. A lot of people don't even know that. A lot of people don't know it. So Matt Ishba, Dan Gilbert, those are the two guys that actually own two of the biggest mortgage companies. And Dan Gilbert in particular, he moved his company to Detroit. And so the core of his company is in Detroit. And that was one of the things that helped spearhead the turnaround from 2008 for Detroit to become what it is today. So, yep, two of the biggest here in Metro Detroit. Tropical Empress in Spirit, I like her. She's so cute. She's such a good spirit. Blessings, handsome Anton. Oh, man, I like that shit. I like that. Thank you for having me on the show last night. Hope to do it again to share more of my thoughts on the future and enjoy the sun. Thank you. I know you from Cali. My mother is in her 60s and about to pay off her home and potentially hand it over to me in her will. If I get the asset, what would be the smartest thing to do with it? Live in it, take care of it, fix it up, maintain it, live in it. Live in it. If it ain't no mortgage, why wouldn't I take advantage of that? Just pay the property taxes and take care of the property. That's an asset that you should have in your family for the rest of your life. I'm not selling nothing. Listen, bro. Listen. When I built this stuff and I put all of these monies into these properties and stuff, I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling nothing. And that makes me dangerous. Edmund says, why are we wasting resources on agents in Quantico when Anton can profile for us? Love the show. Keep doing what you do. Greetings from the UK. Jack Carter says, AD, you going to do a vlog on Figueroa while you out there? Nope. I'm sure not. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. And after hours tonight, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. So many updates are coming. I'm working feverishly. I was on a plane for like 4 hours and 30 minutes working on stuff for the Patreon. All right, listen, see y'all on after hours tonight. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the stream, and make sure you subscribe to the channel.